everyone, so I know it's been a while since my last video. I've had quite a lot going on since the new year started. I had my dad come and stay with me for a week, and then I started a new job and I've been working nearly every day, which is fantastic. But it also means I've not been making as many videos, but I'm hoping to, make the time like I said I would this year, so hopefully back on track with them all now that things have settled down a bit. I know that this video is about, getting the brightest red hair possible, and I'm currently wearing a green wig. Well, the reason that I don't have my red hair and that I'm wearing a wig, well, you're used to me seeing me in wigs anyway, but it's because my hair currently looks like this. Yep. So it's this really faded out orangey reddy colour right now because I'm actually changing my hair colour, and I've had the same hair colour for 4 years, so I've got a lot to share with you. I had a video on red hair before, but I had to take it down because of some violations of my YouTube partnership, but I'm going to have all the same tips I had in that video kind of updated since then, because it's been a while and my hair was a lot brighter until I started stripping the colour out recently. So red hair, I love red hair. I'll always love red hair. But it's my time to kind of move on because, like I said, 4 years of the colour. I think nothing will ever compare to how much I've loved red hair. But after experimenting with so many wigs over the last couple of years, I've realised that I really do want to try something new for every day. So yes, I'm going to a friend's salon and he's going to work his magic and change my hair around. I'm not going to tell you exactly how I'm going to have it, but I mean, if you guys follow my Tumblr then you probably already know what I'm doing. I'm pretty excited. So today, as well as sharing with you all the tips I have for maintaining and getting the brightest red hair possible, I also have a small giveaway at the end of the video for you. So this video is just concentrating on colour. As for like maintaining your colour in terms of like conditioning treatments to use, whatever, I want to do a separate video on that, so I'll do that later on. But this video is all about colour and getting that really bright red hair colour. So for me, I'm a natural blonde, so it's been a lot easier for me to get that really bright red colour. If you have darker hair, then you will need to bleach your hair. I'd say you need to get it to kind of like an orangey blonde. It's really not imperative to get to a platinum blonde or anything even near that, because red is a warm colour, so it's okay to have brassy tones in your hair. That red will cover it just fine. Red is a really strong pigment. It will cover over orange perfectly. So yeah, don't worry about that. But one thing I would suggest to you is to get your hair bleached professionally, especially if you're doing it the first time and you need to do your entire head, because bleaching is a very difficult process to get right. As for doing your actual colour, I do mine at home. I've been doing it for 4 years. I've never had any problems with it. But if you need to do a really extreme bleach job, then I would really suggest saving up the money and going to a hairdresser and getting it done. In saying that, I have experimented with a little bit of bleaching myself. The things that I've used has been pretty basic. I just used a High Lift Blue Blonde highlighter bleach, and I've tried to use a pretty low volt developer. I'll usually go with a 20 volt developer. These aren't the most amazing bleach products on the market. I would really suggest using professional products if you insist on doing it yourself, but I was silly and this was just for a few highlights around the front of my head. For years I was just putting a Schwarzkopf red as a base, which was a dark red, then putting a few bleached highlights through, and then putting my semi-permanent over the top. That was all until I discovered Magi-Contrast by L'Oreal, and this stuff is amazing and you can do it at home. I found out about this product from another YouTuber called Luna, and she's from Melbourne as well, and she's amazing, so really recommend checking out her channel. She has a fantastic tutorial on how to use this. This is the box it comes in. I ordered it online. Magic Contrast is basically it's pretty permanent hair colour. What it'll do is not only put the red in your hair, but it'll also lift it in and colour it in one step. So in saying that, it does contain peroxide, so it will damage your hair, but it will damage your hair less so than bleaching your entire head. So I mixed about a 20 volt developer with this, and I did my entire head with it. It doesn't suggest so on the box, but I did it and I didn't have any problems with it. So Magic Contrast will bring up your hair to quite a light bright red straight away. So this is a fantastic product if you can get your hands on it. As for my actual dye, now I've been using the same brand hair dye now for over 3 years. I occasionally experiment with other things, as you'll see. I'll write on my blog about all the different other brands I try, but this is my #1 favourite hair dye of all time. I will always go back to this, and when I get my new colour done, I'm going to be using the same brand, and that is Special Effects hair dye. Now, Special Effects is the longest lasting red hair dye I have found. It is also the brightest. So if you want a really neon bright red, then I really suggest going for Special Effects. I ordered my Special Effects online simply because I find it's a lot cheaper than buying it in stores in Australia. So yep, just check around online and I'm sure you'll find a really good seller on eBay or just wherever online and pick it up for about $15 a bottle or so. I use 2 colours because I kind of custom mix my colour, and depending on if I want it more pink or more red, orangey, I use different quantities of these. The colours that I use is Nuclear Red. Nuclear Red is basically slightly orangey toned, really neon bright red, the brightest red I've used. And I mix in a little bit of Cherry Bomb, which is a very pink tone red, into that. And Cherry Bomb is, I tend to use like usually 2 parts of the Nuclear Red and 1 part of the Cherry Bomb. And yeah, so that's my colour. That's what I mainly use. That's what I've been using over all this time. Now, a lot of people have used this dye and said, well, my hair's still not as bright as yours. My secret is to sleep with the dye on your head. And I know that sounds bad, but these are vegetable-based dyes. They won't damage your hair. So what you need to do is apply this dye all over your head, wrap your head with cling film, put a cap over it, and leave it on overnight. Seriously, wake up in the morning and wash it out and your colour will be so bright and it'll last so long. So I recommend doing that with any of their Special Effects dyes. When it comes to actually dyeing my hair, I tend to use 2 different brushes. I use the smaller tinting brush for doing around my hairline and all the little delicate areas, and then I have a bigger one for doing larger areas. I tend to clip it up in sections and then dye each section kind of thing. Make sure that when you do dye your hair with Special Effects that you don't condition before you apply it, because it'll make it really hard for the colour to really sink into your hair. So just shampoo it and then apply the dye. Always put Vaseline around your hairline. This will stop the red from staining your skin. Red is particularly bad for staining your clothes, your bathroom, everything. So just be warned, if you want to do this hair, if you want to have this bright red hair, it's a lot of maintenance and it's very messy. So you have to be prepared for that. So in saying that, all of my towels and all of my bedspreads and my pillows are all black or dark red, and the same with anything else that could come in contact with my hair, and I'm constantly bleaching my bathroom. So do be aware of that before you dye your hair red. Another tip I have for you for maintaining your colour is, I've tried many things to maintain my colour as I go along so I don't have to dye it as much, including putting the colour into my conditioner and using special red shampoos and whatever, but nothing has ever come close to the Revlon Nutri-Color Cream. I've talked about this before in my videos. The one that I used was number 600, which is Fire Red, and this is seriously like a conditioning treatment that also has colour in it. It'll really help to maintain your colour as well as keep your hair in really good condition, which is really important if you are constantly dyeing your hair. So do use this treatment. I guess I summed it up pretty quickly. I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's pretty easy. Just, yeah, really leaving your hair dye on there as long as possible. Special Effects being the best that I've used. Really try to keep up the condition of your hair. I try to minimize heat styling products, using heat products on my hair, so GHDs and things like that I try to keep to a minimum just so that I can keep the condition of my hair up, and it's also meant that I've managed to maintain below the bust hair for a few years now. So it is possible to have hair that's in good condition and coloured, but you have to take good care of your hair. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say in terms of tips for you guys, but I mean, I'm sure you guys have a million other questions or whatever. I'll be free to answer any questions you have at all, so please leave them down in the comments and I'll try to get to them as quickly as I can. Now for the giveaway. So for the giveaway, because I have so much dye left over, and I will be listing the rest because I ordered a lot of dye. I'll be listing all the rest of the bottles of my hair dye on my eBay store, as well as a whole bunch of clothes and stuff very soon. So I'll put the link to my eBay store in the description box. But I'm going to give away one brand new bottle of the Nuclear Red and one brand new bottle of Cherry Bomb to my subscribers. I'll send it to you wherever you are in the world. I will send you this dye because I really want you to try it if you already have red hair or you want to try red hair. So all you need to do to win the 2 bottles of Special Effects, which is the best hair dye around in my opinion, is simply tell me who or what inspires you to have red hair. So whether you already have red hair or you want to get red hair, all I want to know is something that inspired you to have red hair. For me, it was a mixture of Ariel the Mermaid and seeing a picture of a girl on the front of a tattoo magazine years and years ago with bright red hair, and she looked amazing. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for now. I'll be back with another video really soon. Remember, like I said, just leave any comments that you have for me down below and I'll speak to you guys soon.